It's always the startup that I always have the hardest time with.
Write yourself a little intro. Welcome back. Wacky friends and family. Let's all have a good time tonight.
I need to do that, I swear.
Don't forget to smash that like button and whatever the fuck the subscribe button. I don't know.
Wherever we're even going to post these on.
Share them with people. We're credible.
Yeah.
We have opinions.
Yeah, pretty much that. Welcome back to another episode of 3View, where we watch the first 3 episodes of any given show. We're starting with anime right now. Give our honest opinions and reviews. Basically, the premise is that we watch the first 3 episodes to give fair judgment to any show. Because my rule has always been, can't judge it based on the first episode, but there's no real reason to keep going into the later episodes. I'm Ryan, and then we got Dwayne right here, and our little voice recorder guy, Craig. Kevin is indisposed this week, so it's just going to be us two. So it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, especially because it's a newer anime. Not a lot of notes on the production department. Basically, like I said, we watched the first 3 episodes, and we're still in the talks of what we'll do later on. We're just kind of getting started. Will we do later seasons? Like second season, third seasons? Maybe. Will we do full anime reviews? That might be something completely separate from 3View. We'll see. We'll see. We're still in the progress of figuring out what the hell we're doing. Because I don't fucking know. Sometimes I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's usually when the best things come together. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I might sound a little different tonight because right now I have this weird chest congestion. It's really annoying. I'm like coughing up a lot of phlegm. It's annoying the shit out of me.
Could be allergies. There's a lot more flowers in the air this year.
That's what I was thinking, but like I've never gotten hit with allergies before. Like this.
Neither have I.
If this is allergies, this would be new to me. Anyway, so tonight's episode is on one of the new shows, actually, Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is a manga series. I think it started in 2018. I think that's what I read.
It's that new?
Yeah, created by Yuji Kaku. He actually didn't really work on anything. He had 1 or 2 one-shots here and there in Shonen Jump. Hell's Paradise is his first full series. It's actually already complete, apparently. It went from 2018 to 2021.
Okay.
14 volumes, I believe. It's funny. I haven't paid attention, but I don't think I've seen it in Barnes & Noble. Probably, I might have seen it. I might have passed on it, honestly. I can't remember.
Okay.
Because certain manga lifespans don't last very long. I found out the other day, one of my favorite series, Nirvana, over here, right here above my Revan Pop. It ended. Mm-hmm. It got canceled.
Oh,
it only got 4 volumes, and it got canceled. And it got canceled like 4 years ago. I was sitting here the whole time like, man, where the hell is volume 5? I am so upset. Like, it was so good. It had such an interesting. Anyway, that's not the episode tonight. So yeah, at least from what I read, Hell's Paradise, the manga, is actually already finished. The anime started in April 1st, I believe. The director for that is Kaori Makita, with the producer being Nozomi Ishii. Animated and all that by Studio Mappa, which is insane.
They are driving that team
absolutely. They are cranking it out, but man, they need a break. Because what do they have under their belt right now? They got Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise. Are they
going on just stuff that's serializing right now for this season? I think it's Hell's Paradise and Demon Slayer.
Are they doing Demon Slayer this season? I thought, because usually Ufotable does it.
Oh, do they? I thought they did.
Yeah, Ufotable
Demon
did
Slayer as well.
the 2 seasons in the movie, but maybe they moved up. Maybe they got the rights for Demon Slayer season 3. I haven't caught up on Demon Slayer. I'm behind. You might be right. I forgot. I haven't looked into it. But they got Chainsaw Man, they got the Attack on Titan, they got Hell's Paradise, they got Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh man, I'm so excited for Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 or 2.
Jujutsu. Attack on Titan's defense, that one's rampant to the end, and they're trying to figure out how they want to do it. There's nothing really out right now for it.
True, yeah. But yeah, the Studio Mappa is cranking them out, and their quality has not dropped. But damn, like
I hope the staff has.
Oh, there was a good one. So the director and the producer actually have nothing big or anything under their name. I could not find any accounts. I couldn't find any wikis. So maybe Studio Mappa is dishing them out as quickly as they drop or something. They get a new producer every season because the old one just can't keep up. I don't know.
It's very possible.
Jokes aside, Hell's Paradise. Because like I said, I really don't have a whole lot of. There's not a whole lot of notes to go off of this one.
No worries. Anything notable about the voice actors?
Yeah. So, but I liked your idea from a couple episodes back where we wait on the voice actors until we get into the introductions of at least the first episode. So we'll go ahead and do that down the road. But for some background, the premise of Hell's Paradise is we follow this character. His name is Gabimaru, nicknamed the Hollow. Dope nickname. It's basic, but it's dope. I'm a sucker for nicknames. So if this had giant ninja mechas, it'd be over. It'd be my top anime. Can be stupid as it wants. We follow Gabimaru, and he's basically convicted to death, and he gets a chance at a pardon if he goes and does this thing. And we'll go into details when we get to the first episode. Not going too much into the episode right away. I do want to say this. First off, this anime is very pretty.
Yeah.
For how underlaying morbid and scary it is.
A lot of bright colors and they all pop.
Yeah, and it doesn't distract you from the the vividly horrible things that you see in the series, but it is just. It complements it so well,
it does.
Because you get certain series where like Attack on Titan, for example. They have the gloomy faces, the all depressing thing. You get an episode here and there where it's bright and this and that, but you're always reminded that you're always reminded that it's not happy times.
Yeah, there's a lot of sunsets in Attack on Titan. A lot of sunsets and a lot of shadows.
Mm-hmm. So going right into episode 1, the episode's name is Death Row Convict and the Executioner. What I like about the episode names is that, because we're only on 4 episodes and I've only seen the 3. I was catching up on the episodes tonight. The episodes give you enough information based on the titles alone, but they also don't tell you anything outside of that. And we'll hear that as we go into the episode names. But the synopsis for episode 1 is that we see Gabimaru, who is a more or less emotionless shinobi. who is basically thought to be unkillable because we see him going through several different execution attempts. And, like he survives a beheading, he survives burning, he survives being pulled apart by bulls. It's pretty much one of my favorite tropes. I love the overpowered trope. Is it overplayed? Maybe, but I don't care. I like it. It's fun. When it's not fun, that's when it's not fun. That makes complete sense. But, reincarnated slime, overlord, irregular magical high school. I love the overpowered tropes. It's fun. Do they overplay it sometimes? Yeah, maybe, sure, but it's not. It's whatever. So, we see him surviving all these different execution attempts until finally the female executioner, who is a Yamada clan. Oh God, what is that? Isamon? I don't remember how to pronounce their rank or whatever. But basically, a clan that's all about sword testing, who are also executioners for, beheadings and stuff. We follow Yamada Isamon Sagiri, a female sword tester / executioner, who was basically jotting down notes on Gabimaru and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you myself now," and he realizes, she can actually do it. He actually saw himself getting killed by her if he didn't actually fight back. And then we find out that basically... Oh, the dogs in the neighborhood are howling right now. We find out that he was actually unintentionally keeping himself alive because he actually wanted to go back to his wife, that we find out that he's married to a girl who is a chief's daughter named Yui. And that's pretty much the synopsis, a little bit, pretty much the entire story for the first episode. Very strong first episode. I'm not even gonna lie. It gives you world building. They describe what the premise is. We'll get into that in episode 2, just because it goes a little bit more into it on episode 2. But it gives you a good amount of world building, like what they're trying to accomplish. It gives you the 2 main characters' introductions. It gives you at the very end, it gives you essentially their reasons why they're doing this, and we find out that Sagiri was actually just testing Gabimaru. So to see if he's capable of going to this island where the supposed elixir of life is at. And, also giving him a potential will to live because of the fact that it's a full pardon and he can get out of being executed. Because, what was it? He
was trying to leave their village.
And they
was set up.
They backstabbed him and got him caught. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, we get a lot of that stuff, and I feel like maybe the episode could have been a little longer. Maybe not 90 minutes like Oshinoko, but maybe like a 40, 50-minute episode. I think that would have been fun to introduce things a little more. But, it is what it is. Still a great episode. Still gave us a lot of information for the short amount of time it was in it playing. Gabimaru is definitely fun to watch, especially when near the end of the episode his demeanor changes and he realizes, hey, I want to live to go see my wife. I think he deserves the world. I think he definitely, should get to go to his wife and say fuck it to his, father-in-law, because his father-in-law's a dick. I mean, you find out that the father-in-law branded his own daughter for, what was it? Because she was soft, essentially. She doesn't kill, she doesn't follow the clan rules of, we're assassins, killing is our whole being, And
Was that
Gabimaru,
branding? I thought he just burned her to be a dick.
I can't remember it, but basically scarred her, and no one wanted to be around her. But Gabimaru was like, "Hey, fuck it, I'll do it," and they ended up like genuinely falling in love to a point. Mm-hmm. We still, even in episode 3, we still haven't learned a full bit of everything. I like your cup, by the way.
Thank you. The missus made it.
Oh, really? Let me see it. Let me pull up the camera real quick. We'll take a quick detour. I want to see it. Yeah, see, that's really cool. So what is it? It's Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Nami, and Robin. Are the others on the other side, or is it just them?
It's just them.
Oh, okay. And what is it? Letty runs the village hidden in the Meadows shop?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll attach a link to that website for people who are curious. Anyway. Enough branding. Unless, Dwayne, you want to go on more, I don't care.
Yeah, maybe in another video.
All right. But yeah, so I think the characters are very interesting already from what we've seen. Gabimaru definitely was the center of the episode because we didn't really learn too much about Sagiri. We just kind of understood that she was an executioner. But yeah, so I think episode 1 was definitely a strong opener for the show. It was interesting too because me being a bit of a history buff, I already knew that it was the Imagawa clan because of their family signature in the backgrounds and stuff, but I didn't really understand where the time frame was because it says it's Edo period, but it's also, I think, saying it's like almost 200 years after the Sengoku era, and I'm not 100% on time frame, but I didn't remember the Edo period lasting that long. I thought it was only like 100 or so years, but 200 sounds about right as well. So, but again, it's also like a fictional story, so time frame wise, it's like whatever. Yeah, what were your thoughts on it, Dwayne?
So first thought going in, Gabimaru was a little edgelord. Understandably, he had a pretty shit life. He's a little edgelord. The whole surviving the executions I thought was initially interesting because one of the guards had made like an offhanded comment about how him and his clan are creepy and that they possess weird powers, and I think one of them even had like this, I heard that they all took like a bite of the legendary immortal fruit or whatever it is. It was like the first time you hear it. It's like an offhanded comment. And you see him survive 2 of the executions at this point, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe that's going to be the gimmick. Maybe they're going to go to this place, and he's actually immortal, but that's going to probably be some kind of hindrance because of something, right? And then, what's her name? Sagiri? Sagiri.
Yeah.
I liked her demeanor in episode 1. The stoic, calculating, she's just trying to get business done, asking questions. There's a character that I had in mind and I cannot for the life of me remember who it was off the top of my head, but they had a very similar personality, very straight, stoic, to the point, but then would make small little comments with the same exact demeanor of, oh, you know ninjutsu? Yeah. Can I see it? Why? Personal interest. Just cause. I want to see it. Like, I like that little demeanor she had. It was a little disappointing when it's revealed that he was indeed just fighting back and using whatever techniques he had to not die. Sure, involuntary, active instinct, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was a little less interesting than if he was just actually immortal.
Fair.
Because then they could have did something different. In my head, I have this whole different story where they could have probably been like, oh yeah, he's immortal because of that, but now he has to live an immortal life away from his wife, or he's gonna get fucking tortured in some fucked up way, and they'll find a way around it, but he won't die, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But no, he's just really, really strong, which isn't a problem in its own right. I had a different picture in my head, so that was a bit of a downer for me. But I did like that his driving motivation is his wife. It's not a very often one that it's used. Usually it's like, oh, get back to my quiet life, or get back to my family, or get back to my kids. It's very rarely that it's the wife. Mm-hmm. And I really like that.
And the fact that, as Sagiri pointed out in the first episode, that she is still, in fact, alive. You know, because...
She did mention that, which I think was a good... I think it was a good thing to mention now. Not saying it would have less impact to drag it out and be like, oh, well, she's actually alive, we just found out. But no, I think saying it now, whether it's true or not, was a good thing. Because then it leaves you with that wondering if she actually is.
Yeah.
Because just going based off of his
now,
story,
will she make it?
Yeah. Because just going off of Gabi's story, there was no reason for her to even be alive. I was expecting him to explain when he got ripped away because he was betrayed that she was killed like right in front of him or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like there was no reason for her to still be alive, kind of thing. Maybe the headmaster wants a son to take over, but other than that, there's no reason for her to be alive.
Yeah. No, I get that. I can see where the disappointment comes because it would have definitely been a different take of certain genre. Mm-hmm. But I think, like I said, I think him being just unintentionally surviving because of his love, I think that was a like you said about how his wife was the catalyst for his this and that. It's an interesting like, oh, instead of just, oh, I just can't be killed, like, oh god, what's my example? The kid from the Negima follow-up, it's, oh god, what the hell's the name of that anime?
I completely forgot about that follow-up.
Yeah, right, like, it's just it's not that bad of an anime, but, god, you know who I'm talking about, the black-haired kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, how he literally just can't die. Like, he got his head blown off and it just regenerated. I think it's just the fact that, that he is still vulnerable, but, he's just that strong, I think is a fun little twist on that. It was very neat that with each different execution that they pulled, they even gave background on it.
I thought that was neat just because of the whole history piece part of it. Mm-hmm. Not everyone watching that would have known how those worked or why they would do it.
Yeah, like the bull one. I didn't realize that they set the bull on fire to do it.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of animal cruelty back then.
Yeah.
The animal was a tool. Did it feel discomfort? Good. That means it's more effective.
Yeah. But yeah, they went into description of the oil burning, which. They even described, oh yeah, it can't burn after a certain point or something, so it's not meant to be drawn out.
It was it's the pots they had at that era.
Yeah,
they weren't designed to last the heat that long, so eventually they would just break.
Mm-hmm. Or how the fire, like just straight up burning them on the stake, or just trying to behead them. Mm-hmm. I really, it's probably the Shut up! I'm gonna freaking lock you in the bedroom next time. I swear, you do this every time. Hold your fucking nose. It was very, it was a very interesting little history lesson for a show that's probably not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm. I think it works though. Especially because when we get to it on the third episode, I think it works for what they're trying to set up. Mm-hmm. And when we get there, I'll talk more about that.
Yeah. So moving along with the second episode, the episode's name is Screening and Choosing. And then, see, this is why I was saying in the first episode how the names tell you what's going to happen, but it doesn't tell you how it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are, basically what we're told in the second episode is we see that, they have several different, essentially death row. They didn't really call them death row inmates, but I think the subtitle called them death row inmates.
It might.
Sorry. God damn. God, sucks. I hate phlegm. We get a bit more backstory on the island. We find out that the shogunate. I don't remember if they gave a proper name. They did. I just can't remember the name. I'm an idiot.
It's not important. It's
yeah,
fine.
He's a Tokugawa. That's all that's important. Tokugawa's led Japan for centuries. I could give a whole history lesson on the Sengoku era because I played Samurai Warriors a ton of fucking times. So we're given it the history of why the shogunate is wanting it. Basically, he's trying to be immortal. He's trying to live forever. The island that they are supposed to travel to is considered heaven or paradise, or
I'm pretty sure they call it paradise.
I literally just saw the episodes and I forgot what the Shishikin whatever they called it. They called it paradise, heaven, and then whatever the hell they called it that started with an SH. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah. It's not as important.
Yeah. That the life elixir is potentially, because we're not confirmed one way or the other. It's just heavily implied that the elixir of life is on this island. And we find out as well that several expeditions went to this island. And this is part that we could have explained in episode 1, but they go a little bit more into it in episode 2, so I figured we'd wait. Is that the expeditions didn't come back. Well, that's not entirely true. But they came back bad. They got turned into flowers. That part's kind of weird, but we also find out in episode 3 partially how that happened. But yeah, so the people in the expedition, they came back just covered in these flowers, and they actually pull a guy who survived onto the episode, and he's got no eyes. He's got a flower in this eye and a stem coming out of this eye, and he's just smiling, can't talk, can't think, I guess. And it's just very intimidating, very I'm not gonna lie, Dwayne, your favorite Pokemon's Bulbasaur, so you'd probably be okay with it, but I don't want to be a fucking plant.
I got a comparison when we get to when I start talking, but yeah, go ahead.
So basically, I don't even remember. I didn't even count how many killers there, criminals there were, but I want to say almost 30 criminals, and they described that they can only bring 10. And they essentially leave it up to the
Battle Royale.
The Battle Royale of how to solve it. Gabimaru hinted that they could have solved it a different way, but it almost kind of got shoehorned into the Battle Royale, especially because honestly, the tattoo dude looked like he was going to be at least a side character, and he just got straight murked. Because he's I just don't want to do this. So he started walking away and died. Really? I mean, I guess they are technically death row inmates, but come on.
Suicide Squad rules. You gotta have that one jobber.
Yeah. God.
He has to be the example.
What the hell? What the hell was his fucking name in the live action Suicide Squad? His name was
In the first one, it was what was it?
Dude that shot harpoons.
Slingshot or something like that.
Some dumb off-brand villain.
I don't even think he was an actual DC character. They just made him up.
Yeah,
I think.
he might be. I'll have to look that up later, just out of curiosity. But yeah, so they basically leave it up to this battle royale of who survives to go to the island. And they even had a special book that had indicators on who were some of the characters to keep an eye on. Gabimaru, obviously being one of them, was actually apparently the biggest one that they were keeping an eye on. And they were even surprised that he wasn't actually doing anything. He was just sitting there, and then he's basically called out the bullshit. He's like, "Hey, killing sucks." And they got all mad about that. They're like, "Well, you know what? We're gonna make them kill you for a free pass." And so he just beats the shit out of everyone who tries to go for him. At one point, even using his teeth to rip a dude's throat out. That's always vicious. Like, going for the throat. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. Like, he was just start laying the hands on those people. Yeah. So we basically, we get to see them pick the killers. We also get a lot of background on Sagiri.
Yes, this was very much her episode.
Mm-hmm. We got to see her background. She actually didn't even want to technically be an executioner from the way she worded it. But being part of the Yamada family, it sounds like she was already kind of limited. If she didn't be an executioner, she would have had to make what they say, make medicines out of the dead bodies.
So they either became executioners to test blades, they took bodies to make medicine out of them, or they crafted swords for the executioners to test.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
The better the weapons, the better the executioner, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. And we find out too that she was also bullied for being the daughter of Asa Yamada, who that people were calling a cannibal, people calling a killer, murderer. Even though maybe we'll get some more context later on in an episode, but to my understanding, based on the first 3 episodes, he was just an executioner. Mm-hmm. But I guess he was so ruthless at it and so good at it that people were just straight up thought he was a killer. But Gabimaru is saying that killing is wrong, is always wrong, even though it has to be done, kind of helped clear her conscience of it. And then we get some minor introduction to some of the other characters. Yuzuriha, the female shinobi, the big giant dude, what the hell is his name? Rokuto or something. Several of the different killers and criminals, all of whom seemed pretty interesting until episode 3 happened.
Yeah, I've got words about that too. Don't worry about it.
But I absolutely loved the battle royale part. Really well animated, really well fought. But I'll let you. I gave the description. I'll let you take over on this episode, Dwayne.
Okay. So this episode is the reason why I don't particularly like what's her name, Sagiri. Yeah, because they paint her as this very, very powerful but very timid woman. I don't like that. Episode 1 had a stronger impression on me. Stoic, dumb, but straightforward. I would have very much liked it if she was just kind of like, no, I don't want to kill because it's fucking weird. Or, no, I don't want to kill because I don't like to kill, but I'll do it if it's necessary. I don't like this. No, I don't want to kill because I feel bad about it thing. It's not doing it for me. Like, I get it. I get it. It's not doing it for me. Not at all. But I did find it interesting how they're both linked the way that they are to death. It's a very interesting dichotomy. very strange. So we didn't talk about it in the first episode, but the opening, a lot of imagery. Unfortunately, I have no context for it, but I can tell because I've seen a lot of these. This opening spoils stuff. No idea what, but it spoils a lot. And it's trying to show this parallel between Gabi's wife and Sagiri, how they're very similar in nature, and she's like kind of like both sides of the two of them kind of thing, and he can find solace in that. It's kind of weird a little bit because he talks about how much he loves his wife, but the opening paints this picture of his wife possibly being dead and maybe Sagiri taking her place, because that's usually how a lot of those framings are used as. So that it's kind of weird.
I genuinely hope especially that's not how it goes either.
Yeah, especially when you get to the point to where they're both talking to each other and they're like, well, I would feel bad if I killed you, and I'd feel bad if I killed you, but I'll kill you. And it's like, you guys knew each other for what, 5 hours? I can understand the solace in the solace in each other's pain, but at the same time, you know, own each other for like 5 hours. You should be all right. It'll be all right. Going to the supporting cast. The different criminals they introduced. So we get our Battle Royale results. Well, we get the Battle Royale and we get them popping up and being like, no, I'm going to be the big man. I'm going to do it. And then we get the last man standing. Kunoichi seemed interesting. The bandit leader looks like fucking Bakugo. I was half expecting him to have the same voice actor.
Oh man, can you imagine?
I like him better than I thought I would, but I'll get into that when we get to episode 3. And who was it they showed? Not the big guy, the samurai. When they said they call him something the dragon.
Oh yeah, God, I forget his full name. The dude who basically looks like Nobunaga.
Yeah. I like his design. I don't know if I like
it. It's very simplistic, but also, you know, still notable.
It gets across everything. Yeah, it gets across everything you need to know about him. Especially when he starts laughing.
I liked a lot of the characters, like, even for the side characters. I liked a lot of their designs. Obviously a lot of the other criminals were very... hey, I'm a background character 1, I'm background character 2. You can tell, but, there were some side characters who actually had very unique designs. And, I thought that was very neat. Because one of, obviously this was back in, God, when did it come out? Back in 2013 or whatever, but when Ruby first came out... The background characters were literally silhouettes. They've obviously done a lot better than that in recent seasons, but they didn't. Thankfully, they didn't do that here, and they very well could have. They very well could have just said, "Hey, these are generic killers 1, 2, and 3," and they basically just palette swapped the outfits. Each character so far has had the criminals have a very distinct look to them, but everyone else has at least noticeable differences. I couldn't tell you the names of each character, and based on episode 3, I don't think a lot of them matter.
Yeah, it seems like that was it seems like it.
But I don't know. I don't think for Sagiri, I don't think it was so much a she kind of hesitates a little bit, but it's mostly, I feel like, because she just doesn't. How do I want to word this? Because every time I try to think of the wording, it sounds wrong. But it sits on her because I think she understands the history of her family, but also, it's a heavy toll. I mean, you are taking a life, even if this is a, criminal, like a killer, this and that, it's, and obviously the one scene where she had to take out the three dudes in episode 2, they were going to go after her because they thought, oh, you're a woman. And, it's part of the time frame. There really weren't a whole lot of women samurai. I mean, let alone women fighters.
Yeah.
And so, she's kind of trying to fit that role. She's while also possibly, trying to break the mold. I can't say for sure. It could be a very generic story in every regard, but so far it's just it's animated very well. Maybe once the series finishes or whatever, people put it in the same category as Demon Slayer. It's like, oh, the story is actually very generic, but it's pretty anime. Maybe it'll be like that. But I'm liking the way Sagiri is because she's, like you said, it's a parallel to his wife, but also, it's a parallel to Gabimaru because she understands the life side of things, whereas he understands the killing side of things. And so they're basically two sides of the coin that have to learn from each other to make it through the island, I think. And maybe that, obviously, if, you, like you say, you don't really care for her right now, and it's still early on. If you do continue the show, maybe she grows on you. Maybe you say, "Fuck it, I don't like this character at all."
I'm pretty sure I'm going to like at least parts of her because the stuff that they do with her, I do enjoy. And like you said, because of the way that she's designed and they're supposed to learn off each other, I get it. I completely understand. She fits the role. It works out. The character that I was pitched in episode 1 is just an entirely different one than what we got. That is the whole real reason for my hang up. I would have loved to have seen Big O, the maid.
Okay, but she was a robot.
That type. Well, yeah, but that type of demeanor. There's other characters I can't think of. That's the first one that popped into my head.
That is, I want it. God, I might be wrong. I think that's the term kudere. Kind of like
no,
not like Rei from. Well, Rei is a kudere, but are you kind of thinking like the?
Is that one kudere? No, because kudere is the more quiet but affectionate in its own way. No, I mean like completely.
Oh, okay. So just straight
stone cold.
Okay, I mean,
just straight like the guys that were about to attack her. Instead of her hesitating or anything, just
fair.
Dead.
I mean,
you're like, you okay? Yeah. No, I'm it's fucking people.
If they went that route, I would have been completely okay with it too. I love it when characters have growth. And that kind of personality isn't to say that she couldn't have had some type of growth, but with the way that they're portraying her, I think it'll help a little bit more. But then again, like I said, we'll have to see how the show goes. Maybe the show sucks after episode 3.
We'll get to that, but no, it's just that she seems a little more dainty than I was hoping for. Is all it is. It's not a bad thing. Like you said, she's probably going to get some pretty decent growth, especially off of them. I would have much more preferred the more stoic version.
That's fair.
Of what we were pitched.
That's fair. I'll give you that one. And that's the key of the show is everyone gets an opinion. No wrong opinions.
Gabi's still a little edgelord.
Absolutely.
Episode 2 just kind of solidified that for me because he gives his little pacifism speech, He's like, nah, killing's fucked up, man. We shouldn't be doing it. They're like, dude, we're all criminals. We're just gonna kill even more. He's like, no, killing's fucked up, man. We shouldn't be doing it. It's like, didn't you kill like 50 people? Yeah, killing's fucked up, man.
Just
we shouldn't be doing it.
Just because I killed him doesn't mean I like
fine.
doing it. I'm just good at it. It's not my fault.
And then it's like, oh no, just you're not gonna kill. We'll have them kill. I was like, all right, I guess I'll kill. And then he fucking
just murks them too.
Like you said, he goes and bites. You don't do that unless you're making a statement. Little fucking edgelord.
I am glad that the first dude who went out during that battle royale was the dude who was like all excited about possibly getting to kill for free because he kills women and children. I'm glad he was one of the first ones to go.
I'm a little glad that they used kill instead of another word because he had some really creepy vibes off him.
Yeah.
Because the women and children thing came after he started. Was like, I can go back to doing it, huh?
Oh yeah, he was
so
he was
hard.
Getting a boner. Like, he was absolutely getting a boner there.
So hard. He needed to go.
Straight up, he needed. So going on to episode 3. Episode 3 was called Weakness and Strength. So episode 3 starts off, and they basically, they get on the island after another little, background on the island, and Sagiri was actually
half of them fucking die.
We'll get there. Sagiri was surprised at how very pretty the island was, like the flowers, the butterflies, just everything. It was so. Mm-hmm. It was so insanely gorgeous, and like she couldn't even comprehend. She really thought this was paradise. And then Gabimaru just pointed out, like, hey, this is some bullshit because that flower shouldn't grow with that flower, like. And he was even like, there's so much wrong here. Just the atmosphere of everything too. And I forget how, like, he just decided to break his bonds, right? He just ripped them off, and she got all pissed off about it.
Yeah, no, there was no reason for it. They were on the island, so I'm assuming he assumed, okay, well, we're away from everything. Let me just fuck, so I can move around more freely. And then being the stickler,
we find out Sagiri's
tied up. He's like, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, we find out Sagiri's a very big stickler for the rules, and that part always. I hope it doesn't become a running joke that does poorly, but that part always makes me laugh in characters because it's like, calm down.
Again, this is where the stoic nature would have came from. No pissy attitude, no smirking, no. But you got it. No, just no. You do it or you die. Just that's where that would have been.
I'm glad that they didn't make her like out to be like a tsundere though. Like, she's not exactly the stoic.
Oh yeah, that would.
She's not the stoic that you want, Dwayne, but at least she's not, like some type of tsundere or something.
Yeah, that would have completely ruined her for me.
Not that tsunderes are bad.
I can go for a good soon. It's just not
her.
Going off of episode 1, I was promised a thing that was not delivered, and if it went in an entirely different direction,
So basically, she's telling him, "Hey, you gotta tie your hands back up," and he thinks it's bullshit. But he's like, "Whatever, I'm trying to get out of here." So he starts tying his hands back up, and all of a sudden, he gets hit in the fucking face.
Yeah, so I was half expecting the criminals to start fighting each other. Was not expecting it to be that soon.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it would be like mid-episode or something. He just straight up like clocked fucking Gabimaru, and
like opening credits are done. We are officially 2 minutes into the show, and he just gets fucking slammed in the head.
And the weapon dude, basically a character who took inspiration off of Benkei, fucking all excited, like, yeah, I got one of them already, time to find the other 8. And Gabimaru just gets up like, man, that was a surprise attack. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get to test all my weapon. He started getting a fucking boner about testing all his weapons. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. He's licking his swords and shit.
Yeah. He was a little too into that.
Yeah. And Sagiri was even like, hey, you know, to the other Isamon, he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Like, his hands aren't bound. And he's like, I don't fucking care. We're trying to get out of here. Like, I'm just trying to live, bro.
You just tie him back up. When that was literally what I thought the whole thing was going to be. I thought everyone's going to be like, okay, well, we'll just tie him back up before we get on the boat. That's the most logical sentence. She's like, no, they have to be tied the whole time we're here. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Get out of here, nerd. This is why you're the lowest rank. Yeah, we find out that there's a ranking system, apparently.
Which makes sense, but also, we just sat through a 2-hour seminar about how horribly disfigured these people came back from, and we saw one in the flesh, horribly disfigured. Why the fuck are you gonna just let them keep the chains on? Like, no. We're trained to kill. If they fight back, we'll fight. It's just let them do their thing, and if they die, they die. Like, where are they going to go?
We'll fight back. Yeah, that turned out real well for a few of them.
Yeah,
let's hold off on that one for a sec. So I know exactly which one you're talking about because that's the same one I was thinking of. So going back to the fight, like Gabimaru just absolutely lays the tied hands on this guy. Like he breaks several of his weapons while tying his hands, and once his hands are tied, then he just whoops this dude. And the dude was crazy because like he had armor sewn to his skin, and I'm like, that's
is that what that was?
That was doing a lot, and he still punctured it with swords, with all the dude's swords and stuff. And it's like God, you can't eat like, and Gabimaru didn't even use his ninpo that episode. He just straight up murked him.
Yeah, that was all him.
Which is fun to see because then you do see like, oh man, he's strong. And then another thing I forgot is in the earlier part of the episode, you see Gabimaru's village chief like basically taking these fatal blows and is just laughing it off. So,
oh yeah, he pretty much confirms that elixir of life does indeed exist.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's actually there where they are, but it does exist somewhere in the world.
So we get confirmation that that's an actual thing. So that way it's not, one of those things at the very end. It's like, it was the journey all along. Like, no, this elixir is actually there. Or around.
I don't know if the journey for that would be worth it. There would have to be some kind of worth prize. We'll get there.
I mean, it's no Grand Line One Piece, but it's
we'll get there.
One Piece will get there by the time I die, probably.
No, he said this next story arc's the last one. I mean, it might take 10 years.
How long did Wano take? Wano took like almost 10 years.
No, I think it did take 10 years. Yeah, I think it was 10 years.
So, you find... So they finish the fight, Gabimaru kills the dude, and then the Isamon tied to the monk cuts the dude's head off and says, hey, I get to go home, fuck you guys, and just dips, and warns Sagiri not to, hold Gabimaru accountable because, they are criminals and stuff. And I'm not even going to lie, I turned away for a second, and all of a sudden... Gabimaru's fighting Sagiri, and I'm like, what in the hell did I miss? Like, I don't remember how that started. I don't even know where he got the sword from.
I remember that. So, as we were getting our ranking system lore dump, the guy was getting ready to leave, and he also mentions how the whole expedition was expected to fail spectacularly. They don't expect to bring any real fruits of labor, but they do have contingency plans because the Shogun does want that elixir of life if it exists. So they're basically the first draft, and they didn't expect anyone to live past day one. They expected one person to live, and he was letting them know, just so they had the heads up in case they were the ones that lived, that they had already spread the word. So there's more criminals getting ready to be sent over, and he specifically mentioned Gabi's village, that they contacted them and mentioned how they're probably going to get some ninjas from over there to try to help. And so Gabi had put himself into a mindset of, we don't have any time. If any of them come to this village, all hell's going to break loose. I can't be tied down by these rules. I need to break away, and the only way to break away is to kill this one.
Okay, yeah, see, look.
And then that's what started the fight.
Turned away.
Oh yeah, it was real. Yeah. It was real.
And
quick.
while the dude was doing some lore dumping, we also saw like how pretty much half of the characters are already dead. Yeah. we see Bakugo wannabe ripping apart
getting choked out. And
like
then,
ripping like the monks over here being an octopus on him, and he just kills them. The blonde chick, who we don't even learn much about, is decapitated. She was hot.
Was it a full decapitation? It looked like you just cut her neck open.
Her. You see it when you see the overshot, like you can see the blood on the other side, like it was a straight up decapitation. And then. And then redhead samurai dude, who I thought was gonna be a main character, just gets fucking murked. He just gets eaten by the big dude.
Yeah, So I understood that was going to happen the second he fucking like looked at him weird and he shouted. I was not expecting him to go down that quick, because we have been told how big these fucking samurais are. It's like, oh no, they're strong. They can handle anything. And this dude literally just fucking crushes him like a grape. Like, not an exaggeration. Just puts his hand out, breaks the sword, grabs him by the fucking head and crush, and it's over.
And then eats his torso and up.
Just fucking. I get we needed to thin the line, but come on, you should have just did that back in episode 2.
Yeah, we really didn't get a whole lot of introduction to half of these characters. They're already gone. Like
they might as well have not gone to the island at that point.
So what is it? We got Gabimaru, who's confirmed alive. The bandit Bakugo guy, who's alive. The big giant dude who's alive. Monk's dead. Old guy's dead.
The Kunoichi, what's her name?
The courtesan. Yeah, that's.
And then the dragon, the sword dragon guy. I can't remember. I can never remember his name. I just know his title involved.
He was still alive. Remember at the very end, because him and his little yeah, that's what you were saying. He was alive. I was counting people who were dead. My bad. Oh. I got confused. So yeah, we find out, we get to see him and his Isamon, and they're just baffled by the fact that they found these humanoid, or not humanoid, they found these what looks like man-made statues of Buddha just all over the place. They're like, this is unreal. Like, that must mean that there are people who live here or that lived here or something. And all of a sudden all of a sudden he looks on his hand, there's a butterfly, and he's like, oh, what the hell? And it flies, and then all of a sudden it slow-mos as it goes in front of his face, and it's got a human face!
Yeah.
And then like, it zooms in, it's got a little stinger, and he looks at his hand, there's a wart, and he's like, oh, hell no, and he cuts his hand off. And his dude is like, whoa, what the hell are you doing? And then all of a sudden they see his hand just like spasm out and turn into a flower. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much confirming how all that happened.
And all these butterflies show up, and all these little centipede with little finger mouths pop up, and
So, as we're hitting the end of the episode with that, I want to add how beautiful that was introduced. Because the only thing that we have been shown before this is that people turned into flowers. They turned into flowers and decayed. So we see that butterfly. We see the close-up. We see it as some unholy creation of the devil. You see this man's hand that just got cut off turn into the flowers. We have seen these butterflies the entire episode. So it's very easy to discern, hey, these butterflies did that. Well, if they did that, what else is here? And it shows the centipedes with human fingers. And the episode ends with Gabi and Sugiro? Sagiri. Gabi and Sagiri looking at a literal fish man. And I don't mean like a hot Jason Momoa Aquaman. No, I mean a literal
dude
fish
has like 6 arms
with
doing the
human
the
hands
Buddha,
and human
the
legs.
Buddha hands together and has a fish head.
And they all ask the same question of what the fuck is that? And that is where episode 3 ends.
Very natural reaction, honestly. I'd probably die. I'd be first one dead on that island if I even made it past the initiation. I would have died.
Fucking standing on, just getting on the sand. All right, so they really shouldn't have brought so many of them over there for them to die off screen even. Like we see the one get crushed, but we don't even see the chick get her neck cut, and we don't even see the guy get strung up by the tree or whatever the fuck happened to him.
Well, you know,
don't even see it.
Maybe they'll explain in later episodes.
They don't even show it. In my opinion, why spend the time there? Could have put that elsewhere. If they were gonna die anyway, you could have had them discover the monstrosities that we're supposed to learn about in episode 4. So I actually went past to episode 4 simply because I had to know. I had to know. And me personally, I think episode 3 should have had those creatures show up sooner.
You think those should have been the conflict, not between each other?
I think that should have been the second half conflict.
Okay.
I won't spoil anything for episode 4, but just from what I've seen and from this episode, the big conflict of this episode was more of Shigiri pretty much just trying to come to terms with the fact she's gonna have to kill, whether or not she can trust Gabi, and whether or not this expedition is gonna go well. When he starts fighting the prisoner, we get the little exposition jump. We find out in that lore dump that Gabi's village has been contacted and was told that the Shogun wanted this elixir. His village knows it's real because their their leader has demonstrated it. So if any of them land on that island, all hell's gonna break loose. If they're even half as strong as he is, if they're half as ruthless as they said he was, anything on that island that's alive is going to die. But they also mentioned that there is a secret ulterior motive to the executioners being there, and that them being there is also going to determine who is eligible to be the next headmaster. I think they mentioned they're going to be the headmaster or the master of their clan.
Oh, that makes sense with the rankings then.
But I think eligibility is a better way to explain it, because they have to fucking make it back alive first. But that gives Shigiri a little bit of turmoil because she's now drawn between.
I haven't gotten to episode 4, so I didn't know that. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. That's definitely a way to do it.
They that one doesn't get explicitly told in episode 3, but it gets a little hinted at and then explicitly told in 4. So she's drawn between that, her desire to be like her father with the swift, painless kills, not wanting to kill, and whether or not she can trust Gabi. That is not a bad conflict. It is not something that should have been the driving force for the second half of episode 3. Now, that fight was a really good fucking fight. It got all the map addressings in it. It was a really good fight. Really well animated. It was too long. It was too long, in all honesty. Because we get the little midway commercial break card, and then he brings up the fact of the Ninja Clan, and then they start their fight, and their fight is pretty much the whole rest of the episode. Because it's not just the fight, it's her trying to come to grips with whether or not she can even take him out. Not because she's not skilled, but if she can just take a life that's trying to kill her. And he's struggling with the fact that he doesn't want to kill her, but he has to kill her. And the fight ends with him ultimately stopping himself and having some kind of panic attack breakdown. And I think personally it should have stopped 10 minutes sooner. Yeah, it should have stopped 10 minutes sooner. And it should have stopped with the realization of the monsters.
Okay. That's, I think that's fair. Or, at a counterpoint, is save the monsters for episode 4. Have the monsters show up a little sooner and be the main conflict, or have them show up later and give us at least a little bit more background to the other characters. Maybe not full on blown, who's this, who's that, but at least show us the deaths or the interactions before. But it's Gabimaru and Sagiri's story, so
Yeah, but that's kind of another reason why I think their fight lasted so long. Because again, drawing a tiny bit from 4, they do show more of the ones that survived.
Okay. Well,
way more. It's ridiculous.
I'll have to watch it when I'm done here. I thought about watching it, but then I realized I was getting a little too close to our time frame, so I was like, "Oh, I better stop."
No, it's good. I watched him while I was on breaks at lunch, so I had plenty of time to just kind of jump around. But yeah, I honestly think the way that they do the episode 4 is really good. And episode 4, I'm actually going to jump ahead and say that that's the reason why I'm going to keep watching, at least for another few episodes. Because, like I said, episode 3 should have had those come in sooner. Because you start with episode 1, like we said, colors are very vibrant. It's still very bright, even though there's a lot of sand, a lot of dirt, a lot of grays, a lot of browns. They don't diminish the color and they don't grayscale it, so it doesn't look grungy. Episode 3, you actually see them at the island. We've seen snippets of it, but it's always people retelling it. So it's like, of course it looks beautiful. Of course it's more vibrant. But with them actually on there, you see the flowers blooming. You see the butterflies with the different colors of wings flying around. And like you said, there was 2 reactions to it. It's which is what's intentional. I think it comes across really well. It's very beautiful and gorgeous. They have never seen anything like it. Their part of the world is ravaged by whatever drought and fucking whatever else is going on. Whatever grows is what grows. But Gabi, being a little more well versed in some of that stuff, especially because he probably had to learn about different poisons and treatments and stuff. Some of those flowers aren't supposed to be together. Some of those plant lives aren't supposed to be together. Some of that animal life is not supposed to be together. So because he is aware of that, the beauty that's there, it does not trick him. It's otherworldly, is what it's supposed to be. And it makes their conflict in this moment much less significant. Much less significant. Because they are in brand new territory. Everyone's calling it paradise. Gabi says there's something weird. The end of the episode, we find out something's weird. It is a very, very different area for them to be in. But we're still dealing with the human side. There's the conflict with the criminal. There is their conflict with each other. And then the weird shit happens. The weird shit should have came sooner.
So...
Just a little bit
so
sooner.
Would you say that the first 3 episodes might not be good enough to want to keep watching, or was it at least interesting enough to get you to episode 4?
Oop, drop my mic. Episode 1 is a little bit of a slow burn. And if you're not into what is initially presented, it's not going to do it for you. Because it's all episode 1 is them trying to execute this man. And they hint at magic. So you get what could be seen from the outside in as any other history period piece with ninjas. Nothing spectacular until the very last part of that episode when the animation ramps up. Episode 2 is a lot better in the visual aspect because you see more of the area even though you're stuck in a tent. There's more colors and stuff with the sunset and the different designs and the battle royale. It's a lot more going on. The story with Sagiri is a personal thing for me. It doesn't hit too well. But that might be different for other people. Like you said, you liked it. So that one's a whole personal thing. But I think overall, episode 2 is stronger than 1. And episode 3 is probably the strongest one. Not for the reasons you think. The 2 fights in it are good fights. Really, really good animated fights. Probably fights that'll be put in many best of compilation anime fights or whatever. But it's a much stronger episode visually because it shows you the otherworldly nature of paradise. It has a better hook with showing the criminals and them starting to act wild. Even though I think they should have did a little more with that and did some of it sooner, it still piques your interest enough to say, okay, well, they're going wild. That's expected. What's going to happen? Oh, these 2 are dead. That one is dead. Okay. So it's shit's already gone bad. They've been on the island for like 2 minutes. Not really, but still. And then the ending, I think, was the real hook that got me to episode 4. Just because I was under the impression that these things were throughout the entire show. These creatures don't show up until episode 3, and even then, it's at the very end.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they showed up a lot sooner. But the way that they show up and the way that they're shown, I think is a good hook. Because there's the butterfly with the human face. It's dead, so you're staring at it. There's the blooming of the hand to show you how that happens. There's the immediate attack of the centipedes. And so you're looking at this and like, oh, that's fucking weird. And then there's the fucking towering titans. That is what they are. It is a straight Attack on Titan movie.
I'd almost compare it to the first 3 episodes of My Hero Academia, honestly. My Hero Academia, the first episode was, hey, look, it's this little nerdy kid trying to be a hero. Second episode's like, hey, look, this is how he's getting to be ready to be a hero. Episode 3 is, hey, look, this is him getting into the school. And then, look, we're My Hero Academia now. Episode 4, yay, you know.
Yes, it's very similar. Some of that stuff is gonna work for some people. It's not gonna work for everyone. But episode 4 is really where everything starts going crazy, and that's probably where everyone
either it makes or
everyone
breaks.
that sticks with it. That's probably gonna be the one.
That makes sense. I mean, you know, if you make it to episode 3 and by then you're not really enthralled, or you know you're not like it's whatever, then you know I would say stop. But like Dwayne said, if the surprises of like, oh, what the hell, because you know, like Dwayne said, is that you saw the butterflies, but it wasn't until the late mid to end of the episode that you see, oh, what the hell is you fishmonk? What the fuck is that? You know,
in episode 4 is really, unfortunately for our show, where all of that really comes to a head. So, I would say, based off of the 3 episodes alone, it's an okay show. Episode 4 gives you a little bit more, probably, of what you're looking for. Going into this, expecting weird magic shit, especially because you read the synopsis, and it explains different stuff like that. Because I think the synopsis even mentions whatever the fuck these monsters are called by name.
Really?
It says that they have to battle, but they have to battle through them or something like that.
Look.
And not once has that name been uttered in these 3
I'll
episodes.
take a look at that. So for me, you know, I would definitely say episode 3 was the best episode. Episode 1 was an absolute hook. Like, I was enthralled. Episode 2 was a little slow, but I really liked the background for Sagiri. I like her character a lot, and you know, it was nice to see some background. But episode 3 was definitely the solid one. Definitely got me interested. Yeah. I love the fights. I wish, like I said, and you know, like Dwayne said, because he watched episode 4, you know, hopefully we get a little bit more background on the other characters. At least, you know, since they all died anyway, it doesn't matter one way or the other. But I would like at least to know. I would say, if I were to rank it, I would give it an 8 out of 10 for visuals, and the pacing isn't honestly all that bad. It could be a little better.
Yes.
The hook, like Dwayne says, is, you know, it's there late. And so, you know, by the point that you get the hook, people could either lose interest or be, like, all invested. If the hook was a little better, I'd honestly give it a 9. I'm definitely going to continue watching it. The music is pretty good. Nothing stand out, but the opening, I love the opening. Ending's kind of whatever. I do wish that the opening didn't spoil. I mean, like, I don't know how much it spoils, because this is definitely a show that I have no history with. I don't even doing my notes, unlike the Oshinoko episode, doing my notes, like, I didn't really spoil much for myself. Especially because for the voice acting part that we'll get into in a minute, I only had to really look up voice acting for the wife, Gabimaru, and Sagiri. Like, no other character has been prominent, so it's like, I'm not gonna, you know, if I'll look up a voice actor if they're the main character or if they show up more than one episode. I mean, I guess technically Redhead showed up in 2 episodes, but you know. But yeah, I would definitely, I would recommend it, but also be warned that it, you know, it might not hook you, and that's an opinion that you as the viewer have to make as well.
Mm-hmm.
What Dwayne said being that it's the unfortunate thing that we don't go into later episodes. Like I said in the intro of all the shows, maybe down the road we will do full series reviews or something. Maybe just me and him, because I don't know if Kevin would be too into that idea. But we'll have to see. And, we could always bring on our other friends as guests and stuff, because I know a few people who are actually really excited for Hell's Paradise, and so they're watching it as well. Maybe we can bring them on for that one specific.
Yeah, we could probably do a couple spoiler casts here and there.
I think based on it, the show is going to be at least like a 25 episode series. I don't think it's going to be a 12.
Wonder. Usually around right now you can tell how many episodes it got picked up. So let me see real quick. Hell's Paradise episode count.
It might be broken up in 2 seasons if they do 12 episodes.
So currently right now it's confirmed to have 13.
Okay. All right.
It might get more. That's what happened with what was it? It happened with My Hero, and it happened with a different one where it started with 13 and then it got another 13 right after. So it's possible it can hit 26 by the end of summer. It's possible it'll stop at 13 and they'll say that's good, and then they'll wait for the cycle to go through so they can give it that map of quality and not kill any more of the members. But yeah, right now it's at 13. And I would say personally, if you're really, really interested, even a passing interested, make it to episode 4. Watch episode 4. If you don't like it, then just drop it. Because episode 4 is going to introduce that weird monster element, and that's going to pretty much give you the rest of what you're in for.
I believe that, yeah. So yeah, like I said, mine would be an 8 out of 10 just because of that. But definitely watch with a risk, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It's also very graphic for those that are worried about that.
Not like, too bad, but definitely, throat ripping. You see one dude get his intestines cut out, stuff like that. We'll finish up with the voice acting so Gabimaru, his Japanese voice actor he's not a new voice actor. He's been around, but a lot of his roles are literally boy or male or, like no names. There were a couple of named characters.
Was this his first lead role?
No, actually.
Okay.
He's been in... The thing is, I don't know... Well, okay, I can't say it's not a lead role. Because I don't... The animes that he actually had named characters in, I don't know who they are. I don't know that anime.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise, despite, my 400, 500 volumes of books behind me, there's a lot of series I haven't watched.
Half of that's Bleach. It's fine.
Pretty much. I can do a whole ass series on Bleach. Let me tell you.
That one will get heated. I can't be.
Why? No. We'll talk about it later. Chiaki Kobayashi. So one of the other main characters that he plays is actually another series of this season. Mashal. He plays Mash, the main character.
That's fucking weird.
Talk about another character who's overpowered, right? Like,
that's fucking weird.
So he's definitely going to be getting up there because like I said, I don't know if some of the other named roles he has are main characters or not because I've never watched those anime, but he now has 2 main characters under his belt. Obviously, you can't. There's not going to be a lot of people who can top Johnny Ong Bosch getting a main character on his first role and killing it. Like, but I have a feeling Shiaki's going to definitely go places. He's got a very recognizable voice. voice. It's very smooth.
Yeah, he does.
His
I could have sworn I've heard it somewhere before, but I'm not
that's
sure.
why I have to look up the list again, because, like I said, he's been around. But a lot of them are side characters, like no-name characters. His English voice actor, because I guess the English episode 1 is finally out. Surprisingly, the wife does not have an English voice actor listed. But
it could have been someone from the studio. Sometimes for roles like that, they'll just grab somebody.
Maybe. Alejandro Saab, Saab. I don't know how to say that last name. I'm sorry, if you watch this, Alejandro. I don't mean to keep, he actually had an earlier main character role, and it's actually one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite animes. He was Tatsuya Shiba from Irregular at Magical High School. I
haven't seen that one.
Patrick can't stand it.
Patrick
can't stand it because it's got a heavy BroCon stuff going on. I love it. I love the series. I the BroCon kind of stuff is kind of whatever. That's over there. But the rest of the series is just really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's actually Tatsuya, so that's the main character right there.
Okay.
And he's also Shadiq from Gundam The Witch from Mercury. Shadiq being the low-key manipulative blonde dude, the long hair blonde. So not quite a main character, but definitely, a
more
prominent character. Yeah.
Okay.
He's also been in a couple other little roles here and there, but those were the two stand out to me. I try to, and even if I don't haven't watched the show, if I know they're a main character, I'll list them as well. But those are the only ones that stood out to me. For Sagiri, oh god, my handwriting is so bad. I need to work on that. The Japanese voice actress is Yumiri Hanamori. And there were a couple of small roles here and there, but she was not, so far to my knowledge, a lot of the characters she voiced aren't main characters, but she's voiced named characters. She was Evil Eye from Overlord.
Shit.
The masked vampire chick. She was also Shizu from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And she was Ai Hayasaka from Kaguya-sama Love is War. That's the maid girl. Dwayne's face says it all.
It's the maid. That's the character that I wanted. That's why.
Okay, but the thing with her is she has that super random bubbly side here and there.
No, that's exactly why. That's what I want. Completely stone cold stoic the entire time, and then you get those random moments of that thing is cute. Yeah. Can I pet it? And then her face stays the same. She just starts petting it. It's like, what are you doing? I'm petting it.
The part where she bursts open the door, just going, "Hey, hey!" That part kills me every fucking time.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. That explains a lot.
So she has the potential, Dwayne. But I think it's because of her character that they just,
Oh no, yeah, no, it's the character. I know. Can't do much about that.
Her English voice actor is Marissa Duran, and as far as I could find, she has had no other roles. That being said, she might have been in some small roles, but as far as I was able to search, I couldn't find anything. So, keep an eye on her if you're watching in English. Maybe she'll go places. Maybe she's not that good. Because that, unfortunately, that just happens. There are English voice. There are any kind of voice actor. There's some that just don't take off. As for Yui, the wife, I don't even think they actually did they ever officially say her name? I kind of just looked it up.
I don't think so.
I spoiled that.
They might have. I just don't remember.
So her voice actress is Momiko Noto. God, Dwayne, I'm gonna have you write these fucking notes because I'm bad at my handwriting's so bad.
Type it out, man.
So she had a lot of small roles. She had quite a few big roles, but they were again animes that I've not watched or I'm not familiar with. And her list was probably the longest out of everyone. I was scrolling for a good minute before I found a character that I knew, and she is one of the standout ones. Is she's Mavis from Fairy Tail.
Oh shit! No wonder. I thought her voice sounded familiar, but I just assumed it was one of those cutesy voices a lot of them do.
So she's got a history of the cutesy characters. So, like I said, I don't look up any of the other characters unless they're prominent. Like, for example, if we were to watch My Hero, I would look up Bakugos, Deku's, All Mights.
Practically all of Class A.
It's probably.
Practically.
Definitely Ida.
They're utilized a lot better.
Definitely Ida's and Ochiko's at least because they were prominent in episodes 2 and 3. Well, 3 at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the 3 standout characters, and those are I think, voice acting wise, I think the show has a pretty strong cast. I haven't heard the English cast yet, but from what I've seen with the Japanese cast, it's definitely got some good groundwork for characters.
Yeah.
That being said, let's go ahead and pull out the spin to win. And I swear to God, if it lands on red again.
Spin to win. Spin to win.
I'm going to be upset. I still have Hell's Paradise on here. I forgot to change that. So if it lands on Hell's Paradise, I'll find something. Unless you have something to recommend, Dwayne.
We got that list. I could probably pull that up real quick.
I gotta check.
Go ahead and do your spin.
That. Let me mute.
And I'll pull up the backup.
Mute myself real quick. I broke it.
You broke it?
I didn't break it, but the little stopper stick flew off.
No.
All right. So yeah, it landed on Hell's Paradise. So whatever. Oh, I think I did break it. Whoops. I just bought this too. So yeah, Dwayne, pick one from the list, and that'll be the one we watch next time.
My list isn't as long as I expected it to be.
Yeah, you got at least one on
there. How about we do... I just had it in my head. How about we do, since we're sticking with a little more of the newer stuff, how about we do It Yourself?
Oh, DIY! Oh my god, I wanted to watch that one. That one looks so cute.
Actually, you know what? I just thought about it. Let's save that one for when Kev comes back.
He's gonna love DIY.
He'll love that one. I don't think he's seen. No, he has. I got him to watch Isaacin, and it's very, very similar. Very similar. Let's see. I don't want to pick my trash just yet. Have you seen Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai?
I have not. It's been on my radar, but...
Let's do that one.
Okay, so Rascal
Let's
Rascal
do that
Girls? All right, sounds good to me.
one. I've seen that one before. I can rewatch those episodes. It's one that I know Kev will probably like, but it'll be a lot slower for him to go through.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that sounds like a great time. So yeah, Rascal Girl or Rascal, I don't even know the full name. Rascals.
Rascal
Dream
does
of
not
Bunny
dream
Senpai.
of Bunny
Okay,
Girl
all
Senpai.
right, yeah. All right. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed another episode of 3View, and we will catch you next time.